Mrs. is the official Hindi remake of Jio Baby's groundbreaking 2021 Malayalam film, The Great Indian Kitchen. Great, of course, is ironical because Jio's keenly observant storytelling presented the kitchen as a place of unrelenting horror, one where generations of women toil ceaselessly serving men who barely notice their unpaid labor or even recognize them as fellow human beings. Nimisha Sajayan gave a formidable performance as the newly married bride who remains nameless because she stands for countless women in India. With a repetitive editing pattern, overhead shots and without any background music, Jio Baby crafted a modern classic. The wife's slowly increasing anger was mirrored by the viewer's experience. In my review of that film, I said that the entitled husband, played by a fabulous Suraj Venjaramodu, was so pitch perfect that I wanted to lean into the frame and slap him. Mrs. isn't able to elicit that sort of rage. Director Arati Kadav, whose last feature film was The Terrific Cargo, opts for a slightly sunnier, more generic retelling. The story is transplanted to somewhere near Delhi, where a dancer named Richa has an arranged marriage with a gynecologist named Divakar, played by Nishan Dahiya. He runs a nursing home along with his father, who was also a doctor. Richa comes into her new home, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, dreaming of a happily ever after. But on the first day itself, reality hits. She must help her mother-in-law in the kitchen, and when her mother-in-law leaves to help with her daughter's delivery, the burden of running the house falls on Richa. She requests for help, but there is none to be found, especially from her husband, who slowly goes from being amiable and affectionate to being a Class A jerk. If you've seen The Great Indian Kitchen, if you haven't, I highly recommend that you do. There is little new here. Taking a cue from Jio, Aarti and editor Prerna Sehgal also lean into a repetitive rhythm that slowly accrues power. Quick cuts and shots of food and food preparation punctuate the storytelling. It's telling that the dishes become more and more elaborate as Richa bends backwards to please her entitled husband and his even more entitled father. This man is played by Kanwaljit Singh with exactly the right touch of curdled authority. Like in the original, these men aren't obviously abusive or alcoholic monsters. In fact, her father-in-law tells Richa that she's now their daughter. He addresses her as beta. But like his son, he too is oblivious to her needs. Her feelings are just irrelevant as long as both of them get warm pulkas on time. The power of this story is that it finds the awfulness in the ordinary. But the impact is diluted because it's painted in broad strokes. And the writers, Harman Baweja and Anu Singh Chaudhary, who've adapted the film, insist on underlining moments and spelling things out. So Richa's friend has a green flag husband, who is of course a stark contrast to her own. A young girl who befriends Richa quotes her mother, who says, "Jiske husbands nahi hote, good luck nahi hota." There's this running metaphor about being a prime number, which is a number that can't be divided by anything but itself. Can Richa be that prime number? Is the question. Aarti is a capable filmmaker and Mrs. works sporadically, but the brightest star here is Sanya Malhotra. She starts off as a sweet, smiling bride who clearly wants to make this relationship work, but then she wilts in front of our eyes. There is something so disarming and vulnerable about the actor. There's no strain in her performance. Richa could well be the girl next door, dying a little every day as she cooks and cleans and forgets her own dreams. When she breaks, her anguish lands. Because Jio's film is so powerful, I'm not sure that we needed a remake, but since it's here, watch Mrs. for Sanya. Here's an actor who deserves to soar. If you like this review, do subscribe to The Hollywood Reporter India.